Somewhere over the vast blue expanse of the Pacific, a voice crackled through the static one last time. It was a cry for help that the world would spend nearly a century trying to answer. Amelia Earhart, the most famous woman on the planet, was about to vanish into thin air. But what if the truth wasn't a crash into the ocean, but something far more haunting?
To understand her end, we have to look at the ambition of her beginning. In 1937, Earhart set out to do the impossible: circle the globe at its widest point. She was a symbol of freedom and courage, a pioneer who refused to be grounded by the expectations of her time. With her navigator, Fred Noonan, she soared toward a horizon that seemed limitless.
The journey was grueling, spanning continents and oceans, until they reached the final, most dangerous leg. Their target was Howland Island, a tiny speck of land in the middle of the deep blue nothingness. They were flying blind, relying on primitive radio signals and celestial navigation. As the sun began to set on July 2nd, the margin for error was non-existent.
Fuel was running dangerously low, and the clouds were closing in like a trap. On the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca, radio operators waited in agonized silence for a signal. Suddenly, Amelia's voice broke through, high-pitched and frantic. She couldn't find the island. She was circling in a void, her lifeline to the world, slowly dissolving into white noise.
And then there was nothing. The world's greatest aviator had simply winked out of existence. Within hours, the largest search operation in naval history was launched. Ships and planes crisscrossed millions of square miles of ocean, but they found no debris, no oil slick, and no sign of life. It was as if the Pacific had opened its mouth and swallowed her whole.
For decades, the crash and sink theory was the only logical answer. Experts argued that she ran out of gas and plummeted into the 4-mile deep abyss. In that crushing pressure, the plane would have disintegrated instantly, leaving nothing for the searchers to find. It's a clean, tragic ending. But many believe it's also a lie.
What if she found land? Tiny Gardner Island, now known as Nikumaroro, sat along the very line Amelia was searching. Years after her disappearance, strange clues began to emerge from this desolate atoll. A woman's shoe, a sextant box, and bones that seemed to match her proportions. Could the world's most daring pilot have ended her days as a castaway?
Imagine the isolation of those final weeks, surviving on rainwater and crabs, staring at the horizon for a ship that never came. Researchers have found evidence of small fires and tools crafted from airplane parts on the island. If this was Amelia's fate, her final journey wasn't one of flight, but one of slow, agonizing endurance under a scorching sun.
But there is a darker theory that leads toward the horizon of war. Some believe Amelia and Fred were blown off course and captured by the Japanese military. Whispers of a white woman held in a prison on Saipan have persisted for generations. Did she stumble into a pre-war intelligence web, becoming a pawn in a game far larger than aviation?
In 2024, a new spark of hope ignited the mystery. An underwater exploration team captured a sonar image that looks hauntingly like a Lockheed Electra resting on the seafloor. It's sitting 16,000 feet down, a ghost of silver and rivets waiting to be identified. Could this finally be the evidence that puts the castaway and capture theories to rest?
Every time we think we have the answer, the Pacific presents a new riddle. The ocean is vast, and its secrets are kept in the dark and the cold. But the fascination with Amelia isn't just about a lost plane. It's about our obsession with the frontier and the woman who reached for it and never looked back.
Scientists are currently planning new missions to retrieve DNA from the island and high-definition footage from the depths. We are closer than ever to knowing the truth. But as the technology improves, the legend only grows. Amelia Earhart has become more than a pilot. She is a ghost in the machine of our history.
Her disappearance changed how we view the sky. It taught us that even our greatest heroes are vulnerable to the elements. The search for her plane has driven innovations in sonar and deep-sea exploration that serve us today. Even in her absence, Amelia Earhart is still leading the way into the unknown. Whether she lies in the deep or lived her last days on a sun-drenched beach, her spirit remains uncaptured. She once said that adventure is worthwhile in itself. She lived that truth until the very second the radio went silent. And perhaps some mysteries are better left unsolved, keeping her forever in flight. Today, we still look to the horizon and wonder where she landed. Her story is a testament to the human spirit's drive to explore, no matter the cost. Amelia Earhart didn't just fly into history. She flew into our hearts, leaving behind a trail of questions that may never be fully answered. She is forever the Lady of the Sky.